Caseus. Jedi Exile. Chapter 6. Over the next several weeks, things were quiet, and Caseus stayed focused on his work. But every night, every single night, that same dream of the girl in the field popped into his head. He knew now that that girl was Liara. But what did the dream mean? Was he supposed to train her? Or was the dream a warning? As he walked into the field spreading fertilizer on the crops, he felt a tingle at the back of his head. Very slight, but persistent. He went the entire day about his work, but that sensation wouldn't leave him alone. And Sabo noticed.
"What's going on with you, boy?"
I don't know. I might be coming down with something.
"Well, we're more or less done here for the afternoon. Better get inside and get some rest."
Caseus agreed and went inside to his room and looked in the mirror at his eyes and his tongue. He didn't look sick. But then again, this feeling didn't really feel like an illness. More like something was calling out to him. Sitting down, he thought about what it could be. Liara? Or something else? There was only one way he could find out what it could be. But it would require tapping into the Force once again. He thought it over. He hadn't used the Force in years. He wasn't even sure he could anymore. But this feeling was persistent. And it would eat away at him before too long. He had to try. Taking a deep breath, he sat on the floor in a meditative position and closed his eyes, concentrating, reaching out with all of his senses. At first, he felt nothing. Then he shut his eyes tighter and focused as hard as he could. Inside himself, he felt something, like a small leak in a boat, slowly filling him. Then it grew, and the feeling of the Force began to fill his every cell. It had been far too long. He felt invigorated, like a man deprived of water in the desert finally sipping from a cool stream. He could sense Sabo downstairs, the animals outside, and from the town, Liara and Kala. But he had to focus on where this call through the Force was coming from. Focusing on this feeling, he felt that it was coming from here on Dantooine. Far out in the distance. Something was out there. He had to find it, whatever it was. Getting up, he put on his gear and went downstairs where Sabo was preparing dinner.
"Where are you off to?"
"There's something I need to take care of. I'll be back in the morning."
"What exactly are you up to, Caseus?"
"Nothing that involves Liara or Kala. You don't have to worry. If anything happens, you can ring my comlink."
"Should I be worried, boy?"
"No, you don't have to worry. I'll be back." Grabbing his cloak, Caseus went to the barn and grabbed the speeder. Before he backed out of the barn, he looked carefully at the box and thought about taking his weapon. But he decided against it. Something told him he wouldn't need it wherever he was going. He closed his eyes and focused before heading out into the outskirts to find what he was looking for. After driving for nearly half an hour, he could sense it. Closer and closer. Before long, he arrived to where this mysterious presence was calling from. At first, he saw nothing as he crested the hill. But as he passed over, in the dimming daylight, he saw something located in a small valley, hidden away amongst tall rocks and rolling hills. Old ruins crafted from white stone. This was it. Driving the speeder closer, he heard voices in his mind, whispering things he couldn't understand. Stepping out, he walked closer to the ruins and stepped towards a large broken doorway. Pulling out a lamp torch from the speeder, he walked inside, the voices filling his ears. The inside was completely abandoned, filled with ancient artifacts and broken stone fixtures littered on the floor. What was this place? As he walked closer, he saw what looked like carvings on the wall, covered by a thick layer of moss and dirt. Reaching out his hand, he carefully brushed it aside and saw the winged crest of the Jedi Order. His eyes widened. This was a Jedi sanctuary, most likely thousands of years old. Why was he being called out here?
Caseus.
Hello? Who's there?
Caseus.
Cassius continued to reach out as he walked through the empty enclave, until he came to a courtyard in the center of the structure. A large tree stood in the center in a wide patch of grass.
Caseus.
Cassius was filled with fear. He didn't recognize the voice calling to him. Who are you? What do you want from me? A gust of wind blew past him, carrying a few leaves as they settled right at the base of the tree in a perfect circle. Cassius made his way over and sat down. Some feeling inside told him to meditate, to try and hear the voice calling to him. Taking a deep breath, he closed his eyes and listened.
Caseus.
I'm here.
Are you afraid?
Yes.
There is no need to fear, young one, for you sit on sacred ground.
Cassius calmed himself. Who are you?
I was once called Nomi Sunrider. I was once a Jedi, just as you. Thousands of generations past.
Cassius vaguely remembered the name from his early days studying the history of the Jedi in the temple. Am I going crazy? Why am I here?
You are filled with conflict, dear boy. No amount of running or hiding can conceal your true feelings.
I am. I've lost so much. People I loved. People who I was supposed to be there for. Now they're gone. And now there's a girl. Strong in the Force, but untrained. And I don't know what to do about it.
In times of great darkness, even the wisest of Jedi find it difficult to see the path forward.
But I'm not a Jedi anymore. I failed. I allowed the dark side to take me once. And I'm afraid it'll take me again.
Fear of the dark side only allows for that same fear to consume you. A Jedi resists the dark side. Fear is natural, but it can be overcome.
Even if I could. If I were to take up my role as a Jedi again. What could I do?
The responsibility of a Jedi is to ensure the light does not die out, to train the next generation. This girl, she needs a teacher. You have a responsibility to be that teacher.
What if I can't? What if I fail?
You doubt your abilities.
I doubt myself. I'm not like my master.
What do you think your master would say if she were here?
Cassius thought about Master Takai. She always had faith in him. Even when he messed up. She would want him to teach. To train Liara. She would want me to do it, but the girl, her mother forbids it. What can I do? I haven't been the perfect Jedi in the past. How can I possibly be a teacher?
Hearts and minds can be changed. The past cannot be. Follow your instincts. Remember your training, and trust in the Force.
Caseus opened his eyes as the voice faded. He realized that as he looked around, the sun had risen. He'd been there all night. Was it a trance? Did he actually hear the voice of Nomi? He didn't know. All he knew was he had to get back to Sabo's farm. As he ran to his speeder, his comlink beeped. Pulling it out, he answered quickly. Sabo, hey, sorry I took a bit longer. I'll be back in...
Caseus, it's Kala.
Kala? What's wrong?
Liara is gone.
What? Where did she go?
I don't know. She ran off in the middle of the night. We have half the town in Sabo looking for her. I need to know. Is she with you?
No, she's not. If I see her, I'll contact you right away. Caseus ended the transmission and thought to himself, where would Liara have run off to? Then he remembered her snooping around the barn. She was drawn to where he was by the Force. He had to search the area nearby. If she walked through the night, she wouldn't be far. That is, if she had actually come to look for him. Closing his eyes, he tried to sense her. And he did. She wasn't far. A few miles. Something was wrong. He could sense it. Thrusting the speeder forwards, he flew into the Dantooine wilderness to look for her.